After imparting one last subtle, alright, no. No. There should be quotation marks around that. There was nothing subtle. That was a hammer over the head. The guard hurries out of the shop, brushing past Liana and I. Zach relaxes and the shopkeeper sighs in relief.
Thank you.
That have to do with this new tax you mentioned?
The shopkeeper nods.
The taxes just keep growing. I've tried to keep my prices as low as possible for the customers, but then our taxes grow and, well, you saw what happens next.
His fingers tremble as he takes back the discharger. I think he's still shaken up by what happened.
I'm sorry. I still need a few more minutes to finish up the repairs. It would have been done by now if we hadn't been interrupted.
Zach nods. The weaponsmith gives him a grateful smile as he returns to his workroom. Tax issues again.
It looks like it's affecting all of the stores, and it's only going to get worse.
Okay, so here's my question then. Is this an official protection racket? Is it literally, actually legitimately came down from the mayor, or is this just a group of thugs pretending to and using some forgery and, force to have their way with the town?
I'm not going to let it escalate.
Lan and I glance at Zach in surprise.
You two head to the inn. I have something to take care of first.
Okay.
What are you planning to do?
And does it involve shooting someone?
I'm going to pay a visit to the mayor.
Yeah, okay. A good Samaritan mercenary will help. We're coming too. Zach looks surprised.
Something here is just not right. We can't sit by and do nothing.
Yep. The shopkeeper returns and places Zach's discharger on the counter.
All fixed.
Thanks. Here.
Zach offers coins to the vendor who shakes his head.
Please, don't worry about it. You've already done me a huge favor by helping me with the guard.
Zach holsters his discharger and places the coins on the counter anyway.
I insist.
The shopkeeper looks conflicted, then sighs and nods gratefully. Okay, I suppose I'll take your money. Oh, it's such difficult decisions to make. Hastily stuffs it in pocket. Zach leads the way out of the shop into the town. His footsteps are long and full of purpose, which is a change from his quiet, cautious demeanor. I can't help but look at him with a newfound respect. This is the first time I've seen him so determined and driven. Soon we arrive in front of a large, elaborate mansion. It looks very out of place compared to the modest shops in the rest of the town. 2 men guard the entrance. Zach pauses and sizes up the guards. Oh, God, it wants me to actually make a legitimate choice. Element of surprise or 2 quick sneak attacks. Or talk your way in. My question is this just a preference kind of thing? Or is this a one choice is wrong, one choice is gonna be right? Okay. I'm gonna try talking first. Because why go for a fight if it's not going to be necessary? I mean, if we try to talk away and it doesn't go, if it goes sour, then we can get into a fight anyway. At least we tried. The moral victory, We should ask them if we can see the mayor.
I doubt that would work.
I mean, worth a shot. If they say no, we can just bash their heads against the wall and walk on in.
It doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah. Zach frowns, but after some thought, he nods.
We'll try that first. If that fails, we go to Plan B.
Heads against walls. Yes. Plan B? Zach is going to move towards the guards and doesn't hear my question. I face Liana. Do you know what his Plan B is? Are you dumb? She shakes her head.
Let's just hope it doesn't resort to that.
We catch up to Zach.
Halt! What is your business here?
We're going inside, and if you say no, you're going to be knocked unconscious. At best.
We're here to see the mayor.
Does he expect your audience?
I mean, he's a public servant, I assume. I don't know if he's elected or if this is an appointment kind of thing, but either way. Zach shakes his head.
No, but I need to speak with him about this latest tax hike.
The tax hike?
The guards glance at each other and lower their weapons slightly. It almost seems that as if they disapprove of their taxes too.
You guys don't seem too happy with the taxes either.
He did say he brought a new enforcer, so maybe these guards were around before that, and they're like actually from the community, and these new guys are just mercenaries. One of the guards hesitates and nods.
My sister runs the bakery in town, and the taxes have been hurting her business.
Yeah, they're locals. Okay, makes sense.
Then why haven't you done anything about it?
We tried, as have some of the other guards. When we protested, the treasurer recommended the mayor hire real guards.
Okay, so the whole local government system seems to be screwed. Great. He glowers at the mention of the treasurer. So maybe the
Treasurer?
Yeah, things have gotten really strange ever since he came to town. Suddenly the mayor is passing crazy rules he never would have passed before.
Okay, so it sounds like there is someone behind the mayor who's actually orchestrating all this. The other guard elbows his comrade.
Write down. Do you want one of his lackeys to hear?
The first guard frowns and falls silent. Liana raises a hand to her chin in thought.
This treasurer sounds really suspicious.
Yes, that... Okay. The guard motions to her manipulator.
Wait, you're a mage knight?
Please, go on in. Beat some sense into the man. Liana blinks.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you scan the treasurer for magic use? I swear, he's doing...
Not your crazy theories again. They already have a court mage to see to that.
What if they're paid off?
Yes, a court
Yeah,
mage
there you
was
go.
assigned by the treasurer.
Yeah. The second guard frowns but doesn't reply. Damn it, why do you have logic?
If we let you through, will you just scan around and see if you notice anything?
Sure, I'll use my manipulator. Liana nods.
Yes, I'll do what I can.
Just be careful. Some of the treasurer's hired guards may not be so fond of you poking around.
And we're not going to be so fond of them interfering. And in which case, if they try to, they'll be, well, taking a quick leave through the nearest window. Both guards step to the side.
On your way.
Let's go.
Zach leads the way again. We follow behind as Liana fiddles with the manipulator. As we progress to the mansion, we pass unnoticed of the clerks and guards milling about. You must assume we have some reason to be here if we got through the front door. Liana stares intently at her manipulator, but her brow furrowed in confusion.
This doesn't make any sense.
What? Yeah, what is it?
The readings, they're so erratic. It's almost like but there can't be.
There's what? Yeah.
Shadow magic.
Pardon? Zach looked sharply at Liana.
Shadow magic.
Shadow magic? She reluctantly nods. Zach sets his jaw and tightens the grip on his dischargers. So, shadow magic. Someone mind telling me what that is?
It's forbidden magic.
Okay, but what does it do? She's entirely focused on a manipulator.
It's coming from...
She jogs on a hallway and stops in front of mahogany double doors.
behind there.
Suddenly, a voice calls out from behind us.
It's you.
Pardon? Standing down the hall is the same guard from the shop.
How did you get in here? Intruders!
Plan B. Zach, shoot them. All eyes fall on us as he begins yelling. The guards who previously ignored us now draw their weapons as they close in. Zach pulls out his dischargers.
You go deal with whatever that is. I'll keep them busy here.
They have swords. I have range. Zach kicks down one of the tables and drops behind it for cover.
Go! Now!
Alright, sure. As he raises his guns, purple energy swirls to life. He rains a hail of energy bolts down the hole and suppresses fire. Liana bursts through the doors and I stay at her heels. The noise from the battle gradually fades away as we run deeper into the mansion. Eventually, the hall leads into a study. A carved wooden desk laden with books and ledgers in the center with bookcases surrounding it. No, there's not. A man wearing a hooded of course he's wearing a dark robe. A man wearing a hooded dark robe sits at the desk. He scribbles something with one hand while the other hand is hidden within his robe. He's not like touching himself, is he? Money, gold. An older man sits at the other side of the desk. His graying hair sticks out at strange angles, and his embroidered clothes are slightly askew. He stares at the open ledger on the desk, but his eyes are dull as if they aren't really seeing it. 2 guards stand by the doorway as still as statues with those same dull eyes. The treasurer rises to his feet.
Who let these 2 in? I explicitly said no visitors.
Liana's manipulator pulses wildly, especially when she raises her arm towards him.
It's him! He's the source of the shadow magic!
I never would have guessed. And the mayor and the guards react.
How dare you make such accusations? Arrest her immediately!
It's almost like some dude wearing a sign that just says, "I'm the bad guy." Like, how dare you say that I'm the villain here? The audacity! The guards ready their weapons. Stop! We aren't here to fight you. I don't think they care.
It's no use.
Yeah,
He's influencing them with shadow magic.
that thing. A gust of wind gathers around Liana, violently whipping her hair and clothes. It concentrates in her gauntlet of palm and she hurls it at them. The wind knocks the guards against the walls and blows open the robe of the treasurer, exposing his hidden hand and the rest of him. Within his palm is a dark crystal sphere. It looks like a marble of darkness and swirling smoke. A palantir, or whatever. It's within the crystal are shadow tendrils which extend to the mayor and his 2 unconscious guards. Oh, that's hard for me to say. Liana's voice is flat when she speaks. I've never heard her sound so serious before.
A tainted spear. And the branding of void.
In all caps.
You have seen too much.
Dude, just taking a look at you is too much, I think. The treasurer raises the black sphere high and shadow energy shoots straight toward Liana. She raises her hand and creates another ball of wind which she fires with the shadowy bolt. The shadow ball cuts through Liana's magic like a knife through butter, and her wind scatters harmlessly into the room. Yep. Liana! I dash toward her and knock her out of the way. I take the full brunt of the shadow blast and I'm flung back against the wall. Agony sears my body. I grit through the pain and look at Liana. It doesn't look like any of the magic hit her. She rushes over, her face a mix of bewilderment and concern. This is... Okay, this is painful AF, bro. You got this. I muster up a smile. Go get him.
That was so reckless.
That's my brand. Liana unsheathes her blade. A determined fire in her eyes, she faces the treasurer and raises her sword. Not today, capitalist scum! Her manipulator glows with power which flows into her blade, encasing it in a similar glow. Magic particles swirl around as static sparks of energy lash out from her weapon. In an instant, she dashes toward the treasurer at inhuman speed. He fires 2 shadow bolts, but Liana uses her blade to cut through the air and shoots off 2 slices of energy which cut through the shadow magic.
What?
How can this be? Talia! Liana lunges and charges her blade toward the treasurer. Just before her sword can pierce him, the treasurer throws his tainted spear to the ground. It shatters apart, and the shadowy mist leaks out of the orb, enclosing the room in a dark fog. The thick fog clouds my vision so I can't see anything. As it slowly begins to fade, I make out Liana watching her surroundings, but the treasurer is nowhere to be seen. When she doesn't see her enemy, the glow from her sword fades away. The mayor lets out a throaty groan. He rubs at his head, his eyes now looking groggy like somebody who's just woken up.
What is...
Liana sheathes her blade.
Take it easy. You were under the effects of shadow magic.
shadow magic?
He shakes his head as if to free his thoughts. He must be trying to shake off the lingering effects of the magic.
Is it finally over?
Liana nods. The mayor takes a few more minutes to compose himself. When his eyes seem more focused, he sighs in relief.
You have my thanks.
I mean, a little money'd be nice too. Suddenly the door barges open and Zack races in. Behind him is a wave of guards.
Stop him!
He's with us.
The mayor stands unsteadily on his feet but addresses the guards.
Leave them be. But I said leave them be.
They hesitate and shoot confused glances at each other, but ultimately follow the order and lower their weapons.
took you guys long enough.
He looks at me.
What are you doing down there?
Hi. I take a blow. Help. I groan as I rotate on my back. Leon offers me a hand, which I accept.
He took a shadow blast.
That.
Aimed for me.
Zach blinks in surprise, but looks impressed.
Seems like you ended up being useful after all.
I'm gonna kick your knee out. Thanks. Leanna checks the manipulator, but it remains still.
The shadow magic is gone.
Okay. The mayor seems much more alert.
It was my treasurer, wasn't it?
You mean the dude in the black robe with the deep, evil voice? Yes. Leanna nods. He sighs heavily and sits back down in his chair.
When he first arrived into town, I thought he would be like all the other travelers and go on his way.
The dark robes and the strange chanting and the very menacing manner in which he spoke didn't alert me at all.
But he said he knew how to make this town even greater than what it is now. He had ideas on how we could become more than just a wayward stop. The first step was to increase taxes to build up our treasury.
And then opened a McDonald's in every corner. He hangs his head in his hands.
All I wanted was to help the people here have better lives. But all I've done is cause them suffering.
Sob straight nice. Okay, I get it. You're not at fault here, but you're almost gonna let me start questioning whether or not you are.
You weren't in control of yourself.
But it was me who made all the rulings and enforced those tax laws.
As someone's puppet. Leanna shakes her head.
It wasn't you. That man had a tainted sphere, and he was using it to influence you.
The mayor leans back. He looks tired as if a huge weight was dropped on him.
I don't deserve to continue as mayor of this town.
One of the guards steps forward.
That's not true.
I look over the voice and recognize him as one of the guards formerly controlled by shadow magic.
I know what it's like when he used that magic. All I could think about was how I could become an honor guard. The thought was overwhelming and I'd do anything to achieve it. I know that wasn't the real you, Mayor.
The other formerly controlled guard steps forward and nods.
Me too. Little Garrett still plays with the toy sword you gave him for his birthday. Says he's practicing for when he joins the guard too.
The other guards in the room remember their assent.
There's nobody who can run this town better than you.
The mayor glances at the hopeful faces of his guard. In this small town, I can believe that he knows each one of them by name. Finally, he gives them a weak smile.
I suppose somebody needs to clean up this mess.
He gets back to his feet and turns to us. Also, okay, that, I would say, assuming he's being, you know, giving him the benefit of the doubt and assuming that he's actually being honest here, that is a sign of courage. You know, things are screwed up. I technically played a part, even if unwillingly, in it happening, and it needs to be fixed. Instead of dumping that responsibility off on someone else, I will take up that responsibility to fix the problem myself, rather than have someone else, you know, deal with all the nonsense and the stress. He gets back to his feet and turns to us.
I don't know how to thank you for what you've done for us.
Money! Leanna smiles warmly.
I'm glad we were able to help.
Or the satisfaction of a job well done. Fine, whatever. Zach and I nod.
You must be exhausted. Please, feel free to stay at Raven Pass for as long as you like. You are always welcome here.
Oh, the reputation is a good bonus, too.
Thank you.
Everyone liked that. Oh, really, you'd be Raven past like that. Whatever. The three of us leave the manor to his business and head out of the mansion. Did I read that right? Once outside, I glance up at the darkening sky. Leanna mirrors my movements.
We should rest up for the night.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I nod.
I saw the inn back towards the shops.
Zach leads the way. As they're turning down a side street, we see the lighted sign for the Hog's Head Inn. I stifle a yawn as we head inside. Zach and I sit down at a table while Liana speaks with the innkeeper. She returns the 2 room keys, looking a bit shocked. Wordlessly, she passes one to Zach. What's going on?
The innkeeper refused to let us pay for the rooms or food. Said it was by order of the mayor, and one he would happily oblige.
Cool. That was really nice of him. She nods. Another silence falls over us, but this one feels natural and not a bit uncomfortable. If you say so. After a few minutes, the staff brings out 3 steaming bowls and places one in front of each of us. Once the bowl hits the table, Zach digs in with gusto and practically inhales his food. I'm hungry. Don't talk about food. Leanna and I share a look before we grab our spoons. Ah, stew again. She nods.
It's hearty and filling.
And easy to prep and keep going, yes. Rabbit again?
Actually, this time it's venison.
Ah. Remembering last night's meal, my heart sinks. Oh, great. Oh, shut up. I am seriously considering looking into cooking my own meals from now on, but right now I'm too hungry to refuse this. I take a bite. It's not the normal food I'm used to from the supermarket and the your average corner like fast food place. No way, this is even better. Liana grins.
I like venison more.
It's gamey. I mean, I try not to wince every time I use my spoon. The fire is eased out of my body, my shoulders still throbbed when I landed on the ground. Liana glances at me, then gets up and walks back to the innkeeper. She returns with the compress in her hand. She offers it to me with a smile.
This should help with the pain.
I hold it against my shoulder and smile appreciatively as the pain slowly melts into a dull ache.
Thanks for helping me back there.
Really, it was nothing. Just, I mean, I wouldn't say, it's not that it was nothing, but you don't have to thank me. I smile. If either one of us could have actually done something, it was you. Therefore, I was the expendable one. Anytime. I continue digging into my meal. So, what exactly makes shadow magic bad? What is it? How does it work? What is it?
It's far more dangerous than any other elemental magic, and it's incredibly unstable and volatile.
I mean, apart from that last bit, that's kind of vague.
The most serious thought of shadow magic is how it's able to amplify the shadowy thoughts of someone's mind.
Okay, a little bit ago I was thinking like, so is shadow magic more, because they were talking about, well, the mayor was talking about how like making the town better, and then one of the guards was, you know, becoming an honor guard. So I started thinking, so is this like, it literally amplifies the your desires, the darker part of you, your id or whatever. But then I was like, well, maybe that's just one thing it can do. But apparently that's a very serious side effect of the magic, so, alright. So the treasurer was manipulating what the mayor was already feeling. She nods.
He might have wanted to help the town by looking to expand, but
Yeah.
there's also a bit of selfishness on his part for wanting to do that too. Either greed from more money coming in and more luxurious goods, or wanting more fame and recognition.
Everyone has thoughts like that. It's just a matter of keeping those thoughts in check.
Nope. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Fuck off. Go away. Leonard nods.
Shadow magic, unfortunately, lets those desires loose in a destructive way.
Is there any way to block against it?
Unless you are a mage. Not really.
Liana picks at her food.
Most people can't control the magic well, and it's very easy for it to backfire and cause more harm to the caster than the intended target.
So we're gonna go with the assumption here the person responsible, this treasurer, was no novice in this regard. That treasurer seemed to be handling it well, yeah. She looks even more worried.
I know. Which is even more troubling, considering the fact that shadow magic is outlawed in Havengard.
That doesn't mean shit. People are always gonna break laws. It's gonna happen. Expect it and deal with it, you know? Do what you can to try and prevent it from happening, but also be prepared to deal with people who are gonna flout the laws. Zach pushes his now empty bowl away from him.
I think he's part of Void.
Okay, you mentioned Void earlier. Are we talking about like a Void, or is this an organization that really has no sense of subtlety? Liana's frown deepens.
I think so too. I noticed the branding on his forearm.
And is this name gonna have something to do with the whole, when you look into the Void looks also back into you? What's Void?
They're practitioners of shadow magic. They first rose to power during the struggle of the Three Kingdoms, before the Treaty of Asaria.
The things and the what now?
They wanted to grow their power in the outreach of shadow magic. and a lot of innocent people were killed in the process.
Okay.
At the height of their power, they grew so powerful and were so destructive that the three kingdoms had to set aside their differences and band together.
That's when the treaty was formed. Part of the agreement was to outlaw shadow magic.
I mean, after having to basically forestall a three-way conflict to, deal with a single organization whose power base was entirely grounded in that kind of magic, then yeah, that makes sense. Are you really telling me it took 3 kingdoms to take down 1 cult?
Shadow magic is a lot more powerful than any other elemental magic, which is why there are people who still want to practice it. It's impossible to stabilize the magic, so it's deemed too dangerous to be used.
Zack nods. I see. No wonder both Liana and Zack seemed so grim when they first noticed the shadow magic. I stifle another yawn.
Is everyone done eating?
Zack and I both nod.
Then I suggest we head to bed.
To bed, to sleep, to rest. Yes. I second that motion. I'm exhausted.
I know.
Never mind. She grins and I can feel a rush of warmth to my face. I guess she saw my yawn. Zack leads the way upstairs, clutching one of the keys. We stop in front of 2 adjoining doors.
Well, good night then.
Good night. Zack nods. Glenna turns the key and lets herself into the room. Then gently closes the door behind her. Zack also turns the key and lets himself into the second room. As I'm going to follow him in, the door slams shut. Very funny. I turn the handle, but it's locked. What the hell? Zack! Come on! Just wanted to cuddle. It'll be fun.